Hi everyone, Matt Metzger here with ABI Attachments. Thanks for joining us again here on the ABI Dirt. Today is our third and final episode on the Arena Rascal Pro. We've already given you some history and why we invented the tool 20 years ago now, 20th anniversary. And then we talked about the ground engaging components. Today we're going to talk about the options, the upgrades, because what's the fun of a new toy if you can't customize it a little bit, right? So nothing so crazy as lots of vibrant colors. All of the options and upgrades available to the Arena Rascal Pro are options that give you more versatility, either to make the use even easier than it already is, or to allow you to use the tool in a different application. So let's take a look at what we've got. So we have got 6 options with like a half-seventh, but I'll get to that. And I'm not good with numbers, so we'll try to get all 6 of them here. We're going to talk about options that make the tool easier to move, options that change how the tool engages the soil, and options that help you move the soil. So first up, let's talk about movement of the Rascal. The first 2 options that you can get for your Arena Rascal Pro, one is a 3-point lift kit. A 3-point lift kit actually turns this Rascal, which is a tow-behind tool, into a 3-point drag. And I know you're saying, Matt, you've been spending the past couple of episodes talking about how this is America's favorite tow-behind drag. Why would I put a 3-point kit on it? If you have an Arena Rascal Pro because you only had a 4-wheeler or side-by-side, and recently you've happened, I don't know, the clouds parted and dropped a subcompact tractor into your property, you now have the ability to use 3-point attachments. Well, maybe you want to use your Rascal as a 3-point tool. So we do have that 3-point lift kit available. However, if you have a tractor already, then pause this video, find ABI Attachment Dirt episodes on the Tier 3E series. I'm just doing you a favor on there. So 3-point lift kit for that Rascal. The second option we have for the Arena Rascal Pro is an electric actuator. I actually referenced this briefly in the last episode. In the middle of the Arena Rascal Pro, where you have the square jack that you manually operate to raise and lower the gauge wheels, to raise and lower the tool, you can swap that out for an electric actuator. That actuator wires up to your tow vehicle. There is a tow vehicle wiring harness, just so you know. If you're looking at this option, you do have to do a little bit of wiring on your tow vehicle to make this work because it draws from the power of your tow vehicle. But that means then, once you have it all wired up and installed, you can sit on your 4-wheeler or ATV, hit a button somewhere, you can hit a button and you can raise and lower those gauge wheels so that the tool can raise and lower. That means you don't have to get out of your seat in order to get the tool up out of play so you can transport it across your property. Those are the 2 movement options. When it comes to the options and the upgrades for the ground engaged components, I'm listing off the profile blade first, even though it comes standard, because it's worth noting that the scar fires that actually do your deep, heavy ripping work, we looked at those last week, and the profile blades, 2 separate components, both have very different uses. So if you didn't hear me loud and clear in last episode, I want to be loud and clear right now. The scar fires are deep, aggressive work. The profile blade allows you to put that on the base, riding above the base of your arena, to clean that base, get rid of all the inconsistent undulations throughout your arena, to give you a great riding experience and to keep your horse really safe. So that's profile blades. Also, something that you can slip into the pockets in the center of that tool are food plot discs. This is actually something that we've come out with just in the past year or so. So if you've discovered that you can use your ATV UTV and this Arena Rascal Pro outside the arena, give us a call and talk about those food plot discs. If you are into turning your back 40 into a paradise for deer and then later on a paradise for your freezer, and you've got a food plot going on, we've got these food plot discs that work remarkably well with a weight rack that's also an option on your Arena Rascal Pro to provide the right amount of weight and use that tow-behind tool to work up the soil for ideal food plot scenario. Now on to the movement of soil with that Arena Rascal Pro. We talked about last week how that finish rake grabs material and moves it, but if you're trying to move more material, let's say you're trying to attempt an arena renovation with your 4-wheeler or ATV, you may want to grab a bit more soil. We've got what's called a mini box blade that pins onto the bottom side of that finish rake. That allows you to capture more material. You can see that it's got kind of side wings, also some vertical depth that allows you to grab and really pull material. I will give you the heads up there that if you're attempting some major soil movement and you're looking at that mini box blade thinking that you can really grab your high spots, your loose material, and drag it to the low spots in your arena, I strongly encourage you to look at that actuator that we just talked about, because then you can raise and lower that tool from the seat of your tow vehicle which is gonna make the usefulness of that mini box a whole lot more meaningful for you. Another soil movement option that we've got, rather than being under the Rascal like that mini box, is a rail blade. So for any of you who have ever spent your morning walking around the outside of your arena with a shovel, with a straight rake, trying to pull footing off of the sidewalls or away from the rails, because as you're riding, as you're dragging, material gets pushed up to the outside, so now you've got a little bit of a fishbowl going on. If you're tired of using those hand tools and all morning long, the best of your day, clearing out the outside of your arena, check out the rail blade, the wall blade that we've got for this Arena Rascal Pro. This installs on the side of the frame. This means that you can take one pass or two or three on the outside peripheral of your arena, grab material that's pushed up against your rail or your wall, and pull it back in so that you can incorporate that footing back into the rest of your arena. That's all I've got today regarding the options and upgrades for the Arena Rascal Pro. Remember, we have engineered the Arena Rascal Pro to be good to go off the pallet. So when it gets dropped off the semi-truck gently at the foot of your driveway so that you can connect it to your tow vehicle and put it in the arena, we've got it set up for you out the gate. These options are for you to consider if you're trying to do just a little bit more, move a little bit more material, or you've got that food plot out back, or you want to make your life just a little bit easier with that electric actuator so you're not getting on and off the tow vehicle. So if you've got any questions on any of these options and you're trying to figure out, does this work for me? And hey, is my 10-year-old Arena Rascal Pro compatible with this option? We're here for you. Give us a call. We want to get you connected to make your life easier and help you get your work done.